Okay, we are going to talk about and artwork. I've already done one of these videos for Kittle, um, and so I said I would do one for Canva, and so here we are. So uh, we're going to talk about. We're not going to. This is not going to be a tutorial on how to use Canva, or the other one is not about how to use Kittle. We're only going to be talking about um, your artwork. So when you submit your artwork for a transfer or a T-shirt or whatever it is that you're doing, um, you you're going to get something decent, and hopefully this helps less stress for you. So on Canva, go to create a design. Now, a T-shirt design, for example, is probably going to be no more than 12 by 12. And all your designs, regardless what it's for, should be 300 DPI. Now, I don't know if there's any limitations with Canva as far as exporting images. I know with Kittle, if you don't have a subscription with them, I think the maximum you can get is 72, which is no good. You need 300. So, anyways, I know you can type in 3600 by 3600, and that will give you a 12 inches at 300 DPI. I already have mine in. It's so once you do this once, you're going to see this box here. It just shows you recent. So we're going to select that. Okay, there's my artboard right there. And this is where you want to start from, because this way we know it's 300 DPI at 12 by 12. Right. Let's talk about PNGs and JPEGs, rasterized images. So I've been doing this quite a while. Generally, people send me this and they say, can you make me this t-shirt? I'm just going to crop this down a little bit just so we can get that to be bigger. All right, so I cropped the girl out, and we are going to stretch this. So they would have got this off of, I don't know, probably Amazon or Teespring or something. Anyways, so that's basically what I end up with. And this is absolutely useless to me. It's very low resolution. If you upload a picture like this for your DTF sheets, you are going to get a whole lot of junk. So let's zoom in and I'll show you what I mean. That is what you're going to get. You're going to get a bunch of junk. Now, in this particular instance, there's not really anything you can do about this. Basically, your only options would be to see if you can go and find the original file. So you can do a search, and this probably won't help you, but if you click in Google, if you're using, I don't know, probably it's like that for all of them, but I'm using Chrome. If you select this here, you can select by or search by picture. So we'll upload a file. There's our file. And it'll look and it'll find all the different places that, if for whatever reason you luck out and see Creative Fabrica, maybe you can get it, but it's going to be quite slim. The chances are you're going to have to redo the graphic by scratch, and it's going to take you a long time, and it's not going to look exactly the same way. So obviously you would have to explain that to your customer. All right, so this is junk. If you upload junk, you're going to get unfortunately you're going to get junk back. We are going to do everything possible to try and keep that from happening, but obviously, you know, there is checks and balances before it comes to us. So let's delete that. So that's a rasterized image. Now, not all rasterized images are bad like that. Some of them are better. So here is a picture of MJ. Let's make him take the zoom out a little bit here. Let's see what's going on. We'll make MJ the same size as our artboard. And let's zoom in on MJ. So it's not great, but it's still pixelated, obviously. But hopefully someone's not that close to you to looking at your shirt. But it's not perfect, but it's not super bad. What you can do about an image like that is you can go to one of these services. Now, I tried this one. They have limitations. If you don't pay, chances are you're only going to be able to do one a day, blah, blah, blah. And they'll limit on how much it'll upscale your image. And it'll also limit on how big of an image you can upload. So if you don't pay. So I ended up doing it on this one. And you can see the difference, quality of the picture. There's definitely a difference. And I only did it at 2 times. But so it says the output we cap to a maximum resolution of 4,000 by 4,000. So we started off at like 3,600 by 3,600, but the resolution of the actual picture wasn't that. But it definitely did help. So let's go back here. Zoom out a bit. And let's delete that. Here's the one that I remember what that looked like. Here's the one that after I upscaled it. Zoom in. And it's quite a bit better. Like it's a lot better. Even though it didn't really upscale it that much. Now, Canva does have an option for upscaling. Where is it? You go to edit, and then you go all the way down to the bottom. There's the image upscaler. I don't find that their upscaler works that great, possibly on a really small image. Maybe it does. I don't know. Kittle one works pretty darn good. If you want to see what that looks like, you can watch the Kittle version of this tutorial. We're going to delete that. So those are rasterized images. Always zoom into your image so you can see what you're actually going to get. If you try and upload for a transfer or for a shirt or for a mug, it's going to warn you. It'll still let you do it, but it's going to give you warnings and warnings and warnings. So, all right, the next thing we're going to talk about is those are rasterized images, PNGs, JPEGs. Now we're going to talk about vectors. So this is a vector. Basically what a vector means is, I'll just make that bigger. That. Some things I like about Canva better and some things I like Kittle better. Now, obviously, you know, if you're using, you can use Photoshop or you can use Illustrator or Affinity or whatever you want. It's still, all this is relevant. Okay, so this is what a vector is. A vector is like a puzzle. That's the way I try and describe it. These are actual pieces. You saw the little dots in old MJ or in her shirt. If you zoom in on a vector, Doesn't matter how much you zoom in, the line is always going to be straight because it's an actual piece, you know, like a square. Hopefully that makes sense. But you can zoom in as much as you want. It doesn't matter how big you make this vector, it's always going to look exactly the same. It's never going to be distorted. Obviously, you can't use vectors for everything. Old MJ, you can't really vectorize him because it's just way too many different colors, um, and he wouldn't come out right. But on certain artwork, uh, that's where you want to go. You want to have it vectorized. Okay. Now, I want to talk about the bounding box. And this is relevant whether you're using a rasterized image or a vector image. On Kittl, it's a lot easier to deal with. This is a lot harder. If somebody knows an easier way of doing it, by all means, let me know. But that's the first thing we're going to do is this is the crop. We're going to crop this image. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this box around it as small as possible and as close to the design as possible. And you're going to see why here in a minute. I'm just going to move it. Don't go crazy, but get it fairly close if you can. Just going to help you. Crop that. Something like that. Oop, make sure you don't take any of it out. Like I say, you don't have to go this close, but okay. Now we've cropped it. The picture itself is great. However, this is the artboard all the way around. You're going to see this. You may not see the actual color, but you'll definitely see the line. Okay, that's a bad way of explaining it. It's when you go to try and actually, you know what? It's probably easier if I'm going to share this as a PNG. Don't do this, by the way. We'll share it as a P. No, actually, we'll do it properly. If you're doing a vector, or save it as a PDF. It's going to, when you upload it on the site for your sheets, or if you're making getting a shirt or whatever it is you're doing, it'll automatically convert it into a vector. So let's download this. Just thought I better change the saying so it gets you mixed up. So switch this to PDF print and switch this to CMYK. And that's all you got to do. Okay, there's the file. We should have gave it a name. That was sloppy. All right, let's go to the site. Let's put it on this transfer sheet. So we select 13 by 11. Start designing. Add the design. Upload the image. It's not called dragons. It's called, what was it? This is why you should label your artwork. Terrible habit. Isn't it Untitled Design 5 or 6 right here? So we'll upload it. This is going to take a little while. Like I say, it converts it into a vector from PDF, but I find it works better that way. So unfortunately, we'll have to wait. It's not crazy long, but it's, takes a while. So if you have an image where a vector will work for it, that's probably the best solution for you. All right, make sure you have permission to use the design. Don't upload Toronto Maple Leafs or whatever have you. It's against the law. It's copyright. Say okay. Okay, there's our image. Now, what I was trying to explain to you is the box. See this square box? That's your artboard. Now, here's the three colors. Color of your artboard, color of the text, and the color of the lips. So if you click on the white, we can get rid of that. But you still got that line. And then when you go to try and put it on, on your sheet, you're going to get this error message saying that it's outside the area, even though your image isn't. Now there is a button up here you can select. If you select this, no, it still gives you the error. I thought it got rid of the error, but it doesn't. Anyways, but that's not even the worst part of it. The worst part of it is you don't know how big your design is. You only know how big this box is. So that don't help you at all. So the solution behind this is you have to just get rid of that. You have to change your artboard. Now in the Kittle one, I showed you how to do it in Kittle. In this with Canva, I don't know. I only see one way of doing it, and it's a little complicated. So up here, there's a resize. So we can see that this is obviously a lot taller. Now, I have no idea what the size of this is, unfortunately. If somebody can tell me the size, that'd be great. Do you have any info in here? No. Yeah, I have no idea what the size of this is. It does not tell you. It does tell you how many pixels it is. So I'm trying to remember this. 2381 by 3483. So if you come up here and resize, let's show you again. Resize, and then switch it to custom size. So the width was what? 2381, I think. This is not as nice as Kittle, but we'll get her done. And then resize the design. Okay. So it does change everything. So we'll have to watch this again. It's 2381, I think. And then what's the height? 3483. So this is not too bad. You could probably get away with that, like that. There isn't much extra, but let's just go all the way here. Custom size. Was it 3483? See how smart I am. 7483. Change that. 7483. And then resize the design. Resize the design. It's going to make it smaller again. A little clumsy, to say the least, but it's done. Okay, now let's download that. Download. Make sure you make it into a PDF. It didn't really give us a lot of options, did it? Ah, we forgot to do this. CMYK. All right, and download. All right, now let's upload that. Go back to the site. Close this off. Home, select this. I know I didn't have to do all that. I think it's easier. Also, this is where if you wanted a bunch of these, that's where you put the quantity. And the design. And my laziness, or I didn't give it a name. And I'll be wondering what the name is again. 8, that's probably right, isn't it? Go to 8. And we'll have to wait for it to change again, but you'll see the difference. Right, make sure we tell it we own it. And now you can see the bounding box, and we can see the size of the actual graphic. And that's why I think the biggest problem with if your artboard is not the right size, you'll never know. So if somebody wanted this, let's see how big this can go. Specifically wanted, say, 7 inches. Yeah, 7 inches. You can change that here, by the way. Make sure this is selected or it's going to distort your graphic, but you can just type in 7 inches. You can also do that up here, by the way. Just type in 7 inches and make sure that check mark's on. Okay. I zoomed in for some reason. Select the item. Let's get rid of that darn background. But see, now it makes more sense because when you don't have that box and you're not going to get the error message. So you're going to sit this up to wherever the bleed line is. It's basically a border of where you can't go. If you stick your graphic in like this, that's what you're going to get. You're going to have it all cut off just like that. So please don't do that. So we won't catch it, but it will tell you up here that you placed it outside the area. Still. So even though these what was the size? I forget what the size of this was. It's slightly smaller because there's a bleed. Oh, 11 by 13. It's slightly smaller because there's a bleed line that goes all the way around. I think it's 0.12 of an inch or something, all the way around. So, anyways, if you have this graphic, you got the graphic, and it's a vector. You can, let's say you get this done and you realize that you messed up, which I have done before, and ended up getting the transfer with the wrong colors. You can change these. So let's say somebody ordered 2 black shirts and 2 white shirts. You could have this for the white shirt, and then you could, without having to redo your graphic all over again, you can change the color of, if you had 4 of these transfers, you could change the color of 2 of them and make it white. So that's a handy little thing you can do. Other than that, the only other thing I will do is, let's delete this. And let's add a different design. And I'll show you some other error messages that you're going to get. There is Sleeping Beauty. It's just something I downloaded somewhere off the internet. 1.85 inches by 1.58 inches, 85 inches. Quality, excellent. However, the little girl wants, let's say her shirt is, you want the graphic 8 inches. So let's change that. 8 inches. So you think this looks okay, but see, now it shows the quality is terrible. And that's why I was showing you. So this is a rasterized image. Just because you made it 8 inches by 8 inches doesn't mean the quality is going to be any good. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any way of zooming in to show you what it looks like, but just trust me, it'll look like crap. And when you put your designs up and you stretch them out, you can see up here the quality is getting deteriorated. And it'll warn you when you try and purchase this transfer. It'll warn you and tell you that your graphic is no good. It'll also tell you before you buy it that you placed it over the edge. Now, if you purchase it still knowing those, even though they're gonna, it's gonna tell you don't do it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm certainly available to try and help a little bit, but that's what these tutorials are for, to make sure that you don't do them. Anyways, I think that is about the end of that. So hopefully this helps you get some decent graphics, and we don't have any issues with having junk. So, all right, thank you.